I always say, doesn't necessarily get easier, you just get stronger. If you're driven by what you love to do every day and wake up loving what you do, the world will open up for you. And even when you're going through a really hard time, if you can just get up every day and think about what you love to do and one foot in front of the other. Every time you leave, you've got to look all around the room and be like, have I got everything? And you feel really guilty as a parent when you do miss things. And that guilt that you feel, that I felt definitely after Lila's diagnosis, has stayed with me for a long time until I did a lot of therapy around guilt not serving you. What's the point in having that? Because that's not going to serve anyone. There were so many times where I was like, I can't keep doing this, because I couldn't even help myself some days, let alone trying to open my life up to help people. It's overwhelming sometimes.
I want to take you back to the point where you realised that this experience was actually getting bigger than your family and the Type 1 Foundation was born.
That was a moment when I was in ICU and I realised that
Going back to that time when she was diagnosed, is there is there any information or any sort of advice you'd give to someone who's going through something like this, or something that you wish you'd been told at diagnosis?
yeah, I think not probably get told, but like for me, I think watching Lila and having a child, you're so vulnerable. The child's in such a vulnerable situation, and you can't believe that this is actually your life. And I always say to parents, like, it doesn't necessarily get easier, but you get stronger and you get better. I think I've said that to you a few times. I don't say that to make people get scared of because the journey, like everything with parenting, it just meets you at different times. Like you feel like you've got hold of everything in your life. You know how you have those moments where everything. And then type one's one of those things when you feel like that, all of a sudden it just completely flips you on the head. It's like you just have a really bad day or morning or everything messes up. Like you go to school and you forget this or that. There's just so many things to remember. I also discuss with parents, like I wouldn't say I was a super unorganized person, but I believe you're given what you can deal with like in life, and the hand that you're dealt is, and for me, I think it was organization. I don't know if you felt that, but having type 1 diabetes has made me really organized.
I
Like
can't forget it.
you can't.
Their life depends on
Yeah.
it.
And you have to count back 5 things. Like every time you leave, you got to look all around the room and be like, have I got everything?
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, have you got your pinprick? Have you got your
Yeah.
tampon?" We left our pump at home the other day. She shared,
Yes.
disconnected. I was like, "Back home."
But
Gotta
that's
get my
life,
pump
isn't
because
it?
that's literally your organ now.
That's life. But you forget
Yeah,
stuff.
these things we can't forget,
No.
and that's the difference.
And you feel really guilty as a parent when you do miss things. And like that guilt that you feel, like that I felt definitely after Lila's diagnosis, has stayed with me for a long time until I did a lot of therapy around guilt not serving you, and how mother guilt we all feel every day. It's like, what's the point in having that? Because that's not going to serve anyone.
No, it doesn't
It's
help
not a
anything.
change
Does it?
anything.
No.
It's the other thing.
Absolutely. And I want to take you back to the point where you realized that this experience was actually getting bigger than your family and your family's story, and the Type 1 Foundation was born.
Yeah, that was a moment when I was in ICU and I realised that where I was in that situation, it was going to take me to something. I can't tell you why. It was kind of like the year 12 class thing where I just knew something. I was sitting in there and it was just like, nah, I'm going to do my absolute best to try and help, not let other families go through the misdiagnosis part of it. And I also deeply wanted to know if there was anyone else before me that had gone through this.
That's incredible that
Yeah.
you were literally in ICU.
Yeah.
You have a newborn baby, 2 other children that you're trying to keep alive, and I have a little boy, so I know how hard that is. And then your daughter is literally in ICU, and your mind is going, "This is bigger than me."
Yeah. I just had a moment of, I don't know, and maybe it was because what I talked about before about all the different things that had happened. And I actually remember a lot of people contacting me about Lila's situation and going, oh my God, could anything else happen to you? That's what a few close friends had said. And so to me, it wasn't like I went out to plan to create the Type 1 Foundation and do this. It was just like I feel like the passion was there to help others, to be like, I feel so bad that if anyone else was, maybe I could help one family. And I still feel like that every day with the foundation, especially when things are hard. I'm like, if I can just help one family today and just, like we'll get a message from a family saying how much a care package meant to them.
I can tell you when we got home and our care package came within a few days, like it wasn't long. I don't know
Yeah.
exactly how long it was, but when Ella got that package, and it is, can I just say, it is a really cool pack. Like there's a backpack, there's beanies, there's jumpers, there's earrings, there's things that you need, necessities. I just couldn't believe it. There was teddy bears. Ella's day was made, even though she'd come home and we were in this like whirlwind of overwhelm and not knowing how the hell we were going to do it all. And then she got this package and literally we were in tears. We were just like, oh my God, this is so lovely.
Oh, so that makes me so happy.
Already tears. I told you I would cry today. I told you it would
Yeah.
get to me. So
And that's why we do what we do, because if you can make someone else's life better, your job is done. Like that's how I think, every day, like we get a message and a cute photo of someone or just one of your social media posts or just something is helping somebody else.
Gives you that momentum to just
Yeah.
keep going,
Yeah.
keep driving.
Yeah, because there is a part of it in saying that we can talk about all the positives, but I'm a pretty honest person. I'll tell you the negatives too of running a foundation when you're also living with it is it's overwhelming sometimes. You're living and breathing something daily in your own life that is you're struggling with, especially during Lila's teenage years. There were so many times where I was like, I can't keep doing this because I couldn't even help myself some days, let alone trying to open my life up to help people.
So you're the CEO, you're the founder, you have 4 kids. You recently become a grandmother.
Yes, I did.
So going just on this topic, which we know you love being a grandmother, and you just named your beanie after your grandson, which is really cool.
Yes.
How do you balance everything? So I know you're just saying it was really hard. So you've got the kids, so you're still managing all of that. You've got your grandson
Yeah.
and you're trying to keep this foundation running. So do you solely rely on donations, sponsorship? Like how does that all work?
I think that drive to not stop comes maybe from being one of 8 kids. I think that my mum was like, I believe potentially my mum has Alzheimer's and I believe that my mum's Alzheimer's potentially came from just being run ragged. My mum did so many things for other people. Like even though my brother had mental illness, she was the one people could ring on the mental health care line and she would answer all the calls. She fed the poor for Father Bob in Maguire in Melbourne every Friday. Like my mum packed care packages for us up until like 2 years ago. She was the driver for the reason me starting the foundation because she just is so selfless.
It's up around that environment.
Yeah.
What you do now is what you...
It's just normal.
It's normal for you, yeah.
Yeah, it's really like a normal thing. So with the foundation, like just helping people and doing it, like for the first 7 years of the foundation we did it volunteer. So it's only recently that I pull a small wage from the foundation to be able to keep going and that we do have paid staff now. And I'm really proud that all the staff and a lot of the volunteers actually have been with us since the beginning. So I don't know what we're doing, but maybe it's...
It's working. It's working.
And I know even my husband says it, he's like, you are crazy, because I do think of wild, crazy ideas. I do think that I'm a real risk taker, and I think you have to be a little bit in calculator risk. That
We just had this discussion.
But I think you've got to be that kind of person if you're running this organization. You can't sit back and be like, oh, what are we going to do? How can we do this? If you don't have someone guns blazing going after it, that foundation isn't going to run itself.
Totally.
Then you can probably have the people in your life, like your husband and your dad, that go, hang on a minute.
Yes.
Let's calculate a little more.
Yeah, my husband's the logical. Like he's always, sounds great. Like to start the foundation, I ran 10 marathons. I don't know if you know that, but in 1 year. And I don't say that to brag. It was just like a silly idea that I had of like, how can I create some awareness and wear a tutu and run marathon? I've never even run in my life. I just started running.
That took from 0 to 42K.
So yeah, I started off, I did the Great Ocean Road Marathon here and I couldn't believe the awareness that we created and the funds that we raised. So then I was like committed liked her. And that's the thing I do. So I'll put something on social media. I'll tell my crew around me I'm going to do something, but then I'll post about it and then I can't get out of it.
You have to do it.
That's how I've
She's
done
dogged
stuff.
herself.
Yeah. And that's sort of, and so I've been lucky enough to do that. And then I went over and ran the New York Marathon, which was the most incredible experience I've ever done.
It's not easy to get into. Don't you have to be
No.
accepted to get into it as well?
So I actually ran it for another charity, Breakthrough, which is JDRF for the New York chapter. And then 2 years ago, I got the opportunity to do the Nepal trek. So we went over and trekked Nepal with the big group of the foundation. And then this year I'm doing Kokoda. So
It's incredible.
So I think everyone's like, but Ange, you always said you'd never do Kokoda, but sometimes I wake up in the morning and I make these silly and then I'll post about it.
And now you're okay.
Yeah, that's how, even the crew that I work with every day like this, they're like, but Ange, that's just how I am.
Yeah.
So I think you kind of need to have that. They all know that I'm a little bit like,
Spontaneous?
yeah, very spontaneous, and that I'm happy to sort of break rules and take risk. And I don't think you can stay in this game because the thing about charities, I know it's the same as businesses, but definitely charity, you have to completely keep reinventing yourself because you've got to keep trying to touch people and create campaigns to raise funds, and you can't keep doing the same thing because there's always going to be new people diagnosed, and you've got to keep. Yeah, it's and I think that's where the burnout can come from too, when you say that about like my staff. And I think my staff are very safe sorts of people, and they're incredible, giving, similar types of people, but that probably works well because you've got to have your yin and your yang, don't you?
I think you know the answer. I think I know the answer to this already. But looking back, could you have ever imagined where this journey would have taken you? And just listening to you for now, I feel like you could have foreseen this when you were seeing an ICU. But am I reading that wrong? Or do you think you already knew at that stage that this was going to be as big as what it was?
No, I never knew. Nah, because the whole way along, I've always kept us doing it because of the passion. I do it for people. I don't do it for my own. And I think you don't do this kind of work if it's for your own self-fulfillment, what I look like. Part of my role is that I have to be out there in front of people at events, in newspapers, doing face-of stuff. But if it was very much just all about me and my story and myself, you couldn't stay in it, I don't believe, because, your story has to be part of the journey and this touching people's lives. And, all the time when I meet people at events that have just been diagnosed, and if I was to turn around and tell my own story every 5 minutes to them, I don't think that, it's more about sharing their story and telling them that they're not alone. And
Very relatable when you can talk to someone who's running a foundation that has had the thing happen to them. And I feel like you guys listen, definitely for me when we met.
Yeah.
Listen to, I felt validated in my feelings.
Yeah, thank you, because I hope people feel like that, because you just never know, and I will say this as well, running a charity, you see the best in humans and you can see the worst. And you see, people that are just so giving and kind and that are giving financially, but also their time and just want. But then you can also see people that take. And because that's not my own nature, I tend to find that I not fall for that, but I can kind of not believe that people are really doing that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I would never do it. I find that it's a different kind of, it's an interesting, and I never would have imagined that it's national and that it would go this far, but, it's pretty amazing that it has, and I'm pretty proud.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
So Lila today, just quickly, tell us about who Lila is today. So she's gone through this diagnosis. We're now are we 12?
Yeah. No, 13. 13, I think.
13 years there.
She's 22, she was 9, so it's like, is that 14? I don't know.
We're not doing maths today.
13 years.
She failed statistics.
I can't do maths.
She's got a really caring kind of nature, and she's a mum, an amazing mum, a good person, Lila. I'm really proud of her. And I can see her doing something in the field. She works for the foundation, as you guys know. And I've never really pushed her because this is her journey too. And I think that's a really important aspect too. Like, I chose to do this. This isn't her choice.
She didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm really conscious of that as well. Like, this is what she lives with. I don't get it. I don't live with it. I could only imagine. I try to, like I'm sure you do with Ella. But I don't have it, and I chose to enter this world. So I've always been conscious of that and only got her involved as she likes. But it's nice now that she chooses to. So I'm pretty proud of that. Like,
And I see she's always hopping in and she's around.
yes,
See.
yes. And yeah, she's a mum now. So that was a journey. And watching her be a mum and be pregnant with type 1 was a whole nother journey. And it's made me respect people living with type 1 that have babies tenfold because nobody really gets it.
No, and it's people like that I get to watch and go, oh, Ella can do this when
Yes.
she can do all the things. And just seeing people like Lila is inspirational for Ella. She loved meeting Lila.
Oh, vice versa. Yeah.
So it's really nice that Ella can have some people her age, but also some older people to look up to be like, oh, I can have a baby and I can do all those things and nothing's going to stop me.
That's so good. That's the idea of it.
Yeah.
Before we let you go, Ange, what advice would you give to someone whose life has unexpectedly changed direction as yours did?
It can only get better. Like, I know that's cliche, but if you have passion for whatever you're doing in your life, everything else will follow. I really believe in that. If you're driven by what you love to do every day and wake up loving what you do, yeah, the world will open up for you. And even when you're going through a really hard time, if you can just get up every day and think about, what you love to do and one foot in front of the other, because that's why I love helping people that have gone through like a shock diagnosis, because it's now acknowledged that type 1 diabetes is a PTSD trauma, having a child diagnosed with something. And it can, as I said to you the other day, the grief can take years to actually, So, yeah. And as I always say, it doesn't necessarily get easier. You just get stronger. And that can relate to anything in life. Yeah.
I relate to all of that.
Yeah.
Thinking everything we do, we relate to that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you are like the ultimate version of when life gives you lemons, you've literally turned it into lemonade.
Yeah.
A limoncello.
Oh, I like a lemon. Thank you. I think positive. I don't really go by that whole victim mentality sometimes, and I think the world at the moment is changing, as we know, very quickly, and I think it's nice to just help people. And I think if you can help one person every day, then your life's better.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. I think it really hit home for me personally. It just blows me away that you've made something so positive out of a pretty negative situation at the time. And I can say that I am very grateful for Type 1 Foundation myself. You guys have definitely helped me, and I'm so grateful for our friendship now. I'm sure that many others will listen to this and be able to relate, and hopefully they'll reach out to you guys if they're needing some support. And we look forward to seeing how the foundation grows and prospers.
Thank you very much. And I need to add in, very excited to be working with you guys on the retreats.
We are very excited to head to the Sunshine Coast with you.
We are. And
now?
the retreat part, I will add, is a really beautiful part, because I do believe the mental health part of type 1 is huge, or anything in life. And being able to do retreats and help people and bring people together.
Yeah. And on that note, if anyone listening has Type 1 and wants to come on a retreat, you can check it out on the Type 1 Foundation's website.
And there's a few spots still available, so jump on.
Down.
And it's on September 11th to the 13th.
That's our Sunshine Coast Resort up on the Novotel.
You want to be there. It's going to be good fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.